everybody. We're a week late, but Summer Slam was a week ago.
Summer Slam.
Everybody saw it here.
I think some people on this panel were a little too judgmental. Everybody needs to calm down. Everything is fine. Everything is good.
I thought it was a great SummerSlam. I thought that the energy of it was a little flat. I think the matches were great. I thought the matches were good. Yeah. I enjoyed everything that I watched, minus Ronda and minus that match, which I definitely think took a lot of the wind out of the sails of the crowd. You know, I mean, that was kind of a downer.
It destroyed the crowd.
I think that the crowd from start to finish, and just the pace of it, the energy was flat. There was nothing wrong in the ring. Matches were good. Everything flowed well. There was just something. It just kind of was there, you know. It was just kind of missed.
Cuz was at my house. He was down in California, so we were watching it.
Who's Cuz?
I was like, "Who's
Cuz?"
I don't know. I don't know who he is.
Oh, okay.
I was like, "We're spoiled." I go, "To me, this was a middle of the road SummerSlam, and nothing excited me. Very little excited me." And I go, "But we're spoiled. Look at the production of this show. Look at how gorgeous this show looked with the crowd and everything like that. Like,
we're spoiled.
They still have the best. If this is the worst thing they produce, and I'm not suggesting this is the worst pay-per-view of the year, I'm just saying this. If this is the worst thing they produce, what are we doing here? Like, we're always going to get treated well. But I feel I'm going to play kind of devil's advocate on that. I think the crowd was dead because they didn't give the crowd anything. I think that this was a very uneventful SummerSlam, but the matches weren't bad. Like Joe said, well, there's one match that made me more upset than the Shayna and Ronda match, where I was like, this is fucking awful. And that was the women's triple threat. That was absolutely a terrible match. I don't think I've ever seen Charlotte worse in my life. It was awful.
Like, I already told you how I feel about that. There's so much.
Whose fault is that,
real quick. So Ricochet and Logan Paul opened up the show. 18 minutes. Logan Paul defeated him. He jumped on a plane and went to his brother's side in Dallas, Texas, as he fought Nate Diaz. So that was kind of funny.
Beat Nate Diaz, by the way.
And he was still wearing his gear too, which is really fucking funny. I thought that was a good match. Honestly, I was a tiny bit let down by that match because I think they were just trying to feel each other out in the beginning. And you have to feel Logan Paul is put on this high pressure stage. Ricochet is amazing, and Logan Paul, for the little experience that he has, is probably the best celebrity wrestler ever. I mean,
if you're trusted to open SummerSlam in front of 50 to 60,000 people, yeah, for sure.
He's been putting actual real matches in WrestleMania with 80,000 plus. I mean,
I think they're well produced. I think they are. He does a lot of work, the Ricochet, and a lot of stuff. And I forget who is booking. Who is booking?
He personally trains
matches
with Shawn, by the way. Whenever he's coming in for his matches, Shawn Michael personally trains with Logan Paul.
Okay, so yeah, that makes sense.
Jason Jordan did a lot.
I was too hard on this match. I don't know why. I mean, watching this match was fucking phenomenal. I don't know what I wanted from it, but it was 18 minutes. It was fine. I liked it. I was like, okay. It was weird. Afterwards, I wasn't like that. It didn't blow me away.
Can I throw you a curve on why the fans were the way they were? And I think this sometimes order. Well, I think always order matters.
Order is super important.
Here's the problem. You had this match that I think was like the perfect opener, and the crowd was hot. At this time, they were hot, in my opinion. They were all over it. Then we had match number 2, which I'm like, why is this match on now? Which was Brock versus Cody.
Brock and Cody, which to me, in my opinion, the best fucking match on the show. That match was great.
So here's the thing. I think Brock also wanted to get on a plane, just like Logan Paul did, to get the fuck out of there.
Go back to Minnesota from Detroit.
Yes, or wherever he was going. He went to a country concert the next day, like when I saw on Instagram, or days later, I don't know, whatever.
Zach Brown band.
He wanted to get out of there. So... But when they replayed all the replays in the orders that they wanted in order of importance, it was the second to last thing they talked about for the story. So you know where they wanted to put it, and they couldn't put it there. Honestly, Ronda and Baszler, regardless of what type of match it was, which we should get into because the type of match was horseshit, should have been on next. And then that should have been pushed out. But Ronda and Baszler, in the place of where it was, killed the crowd, and then Walter and company had to build it back up, and it never really became what it was. They got back into it. I don't blame the crowd either.
I don't know where you put a match like that, but if we go in order,
go ahead.
And then fucking finally, it was a worthless battle royal, but LA Knight won the battle royal, last eliminating Sheamus. Like
They were
that
all over it,
place was
too.
fucking insanity. Like he won a battle royal. That's
Which
it.
means nothing.
No
It doesn't
title
mean
involved or
anything.
whatever. And people went insane like for him because they're just ready. They're just like, dude, fucking finally. Like WWE just told the fans that we got you. We're gonna put faith in him now.
We understand.
Well, it's so funny too. Like even the announcers are like, they have to kind of at least like talk about the elephant in the room of like, there's this guy that's getting
now he has to prove it
unbelievably. Like the crowd, every time this guy steps out in front of the crowd loses their shit completely. And to ignore that, like it would be stupid. But but the announcer's like, oh well, this is obviously the fans' favorite, kind of thing. And you're like, yeah, I guess a little bit.
Yeah, and even tonight, like they know what they're doing now, and now he's got the rocket ship strapped to him. He fought Top Dollar tonight on SmackDown, so now he's doing squash matches after the Battle Royal. They created that Battle Royal just for him to win. And I think we had some suspicions in our preview last week. We're saying, will he win? And if he doesn't win, whoever throws him over will be his next feud. So that was for him. So they're doing the right thing by him.
And not only that, but on Raw, he had a great segment with Miz, and Miz lost his shit.
Of course, that's right.
And
great promo
about it. It's a really good segment.
It was a great promo with the two of them, but it also shows you, I'd have to say, Miz on Raw, just to segue a little bit. We're spoiled on Miz. We forget how good that son of a bitch is.
He's been around a long time.
He put LNA over. He put LNA over big time on that segment, and lost his shit. Got super angry. I'm like, and the Miz just gets it. He understands the difference. He understands Showtime versus his reality shows versus real life. He understands all of it, and he can make that work in his brain, which most people can't do. We are spoiled on Miz, and I think people just like, he's a heel piece of shit. He gets his ass kicked. Like, there's got to be someone that has to do it. Somebody has to. He's been doing it for 20 years.
It's funny too because whenever Daniel Bryan kind of started the critique of Miz, saying, "Oh, he's a saved, he's a light hitting wrestler, or he's super phony looking," I never took that personally. I was like, I mean, they put the company on Hogan's back for the first 10 fucking years, and I don't think Hogan's ever been known to be like the stiff shoot fighter wrestler. He was fucking light. He was, you know what I mean? He had just more charisma than anything like Miz does. Those are your biggest stars, by the way. Was Rock ever stiff? Nope. Nope. Austin, after he got injured, he's like, I can't really go too hard anymore. So Austin became more personality than anything. And it's like, when
Best
people don't want to go ahead and keep making fun of Miz. Go ahead. Like, he's one of the greatest talkers, one of the greatest pro wrestlers. That whole
he's
phrase,
not going anywhere.
Pro wrestler of all time. Like he is. He's a professional wrestler by definition. He gets in there.
I mean, a lot of people these days are, like they want to kind of go in and be like, oh, it's all about like the Daniel Bryans of the world.
And I love Daniel Bryan.
And I love Daniel Bryan. I think he's amazing. He's amazing in the ring. But like that they're putting too much emphasis. The biggest stars in the history of professional wrestling are always 80% on the mic and 20% in the ring.
Yeah.
Like you can be, Hogan is a perfect example, or like Flair as well. You got like
Flair's more than 20,
you got a dozen moves that you do. You don't
Yeah.
have to go out and like steal the show. You don't have to be Macho Man and Steamboat at WrestleMania 3. You have to be Hogan and Andre. Like, it's just what's
getting them
through the
ticket turnstile. It's getting them in the.
Well, and talking going back one match.
Wrestling has always been more personality and more mic work than it is in the ring.
Going back one match before the Battle Royal, I mean, we briefly touched on it, but Cody and Brock was phenomenal. I mean, Cody is such a fucking great babyface, and the fact that he's pulling it off in 2023, where people get sick of shit real fast, is fucking amazing. I mean, really, his dad has to be smiling, and like Brock Lesnar's a goddamn Hall of Famer. I know that sounds silly to us to say it, but he's a fucking Hall of Famer. That man, he's like Joe just said it. We were in awe of him, in 2002, 2003 when he was young and fucking doing athletic shit. But he's way more effective now. When he went to UFC and won real fights and came over, we were scared of him when he came over. He still has that aura of invincibility, but
realism. Yeah,
he probably does 50% less than what he ever did before. I mean, he just suplexes the shit out of people. But there was one spot where he just grabs Cody, and you can tell Cody wasn't kind of ready to go over with a suplex. And he's like, "That's right, I'm just gonna throw." He threw Cody over his
On
back
his,
like a
left
sack
shoulder.
of shit. Yeah, and I was like, "Holy shit!" Like, and Cody, I think, knew what was happening, so it wasn't careless. But like, you get that feeling from Brock. You're like, he does not care. Like, and he's just throwing him around. But then when Cody came back, Brock's taking stairs and shit to his head. Like, Brock doesn't care. Like,
I was texting you during the match, and I was just like, he is still like, he's not human. He is above human.
Brock is absolutely wonderful.
Kind of
like
hybrid.
People that are tired of Brock or whatever, I'm like, God,
I'm
damn
not
it.
tired
like,
of him.
No.
I'm not saying that. I'm not trying to act like the superior wrestling fan, but you just don't fucking get how great Brock is. He's wonderful.
And by the way,
like,
he's going to disappear until 2024, and when he comes back, people are going to lose their mind again. It's the perfect formula.
And I will say, like, I think we're starting to get, and I mentioned it, and we texted all through SummerSlam, and I think I might have been a bit negative to SummerSlam towards the end, and I blame that on the booze. But with Cody and Brock, I watched the Cody Peacock American Nightmare documentary that morning.
I did that morning too. Yeah.
And you kind of get what they're trying to do. It wasn't a 1-year plan. And to your point, Jess, about a babyface surviving in 2023, I think it takes 2 years to kind of do it. And if he does get the belt and the brass ring, like, what's next for him? So it's almost like we get it. I fucking get it. I understand. He's now.
I do too, but I still have a major theory. I have a major theory.
That they waited too, because like I really think that if he had won at WrestleMania,
at SoFi,
he'd be getting booed right now.
Yeah,
that's exactly the thing. But it was probably the best thing to do for the moment, but not for the future. Like, we just laughed and our jaws dropped when he lost that. We were just like, "What the fuck? Why did we fly out here? I don't know why we spent so much money." But but it was
I'm
just
glad that I didn't
buy.
I'm just glad I didn't buy a Finish the Story shirt
or get a fucking neck tattoo.
Or get a neck tattoo.
But like, I understand it now, and I think it's going to make it all the more sweeter. But to Joe, to your point, to just your point, what's going to happen after that? Because that kind of killed him in AEW. They just got tired of it. So it's like, but for right now, it's perfect. I'm not trying to look too far ahead. Cody is killing it as a pure white meat babyface in 2023, and I'm totally on board. I love it.
When you think about it,
Also, though, to counter that a little bit, Craig, like, AEW's too new, and honestly, like, there has not been a company since I've been watching pro wrestling that has been better at nurturing baby faces than Vince and WWF and WWE.
True.
I mean, all the other territories had heels as champions because you chase the heels, right? Yeah.
AEW
Vince
fans,
from the very beginning. Look at Vince's dad, though. Bruno Sammartino, champion for 95 years. Like, total face. Like
Backlund,
you know, Hogan, total face.
4 years.
The McMahon family, for some reason, they went against the grain where all the other territories had heel champions. The NWA champions.
We want everyone to go home happy every time. We want them to go home happy. That's what I think that was the difference.
And can we say that in that documentary, if you've seen it, Cody actually explains why he left AEW? Not really, but he says, "I had a personal issue," and he leaves it at that. And he obviously Tony Khan. Obviously,
yeah.
Tony
he said it wasn't about money and it wasn't about any talent that drove
Tony
me out.
Khan.
Yeah.
So it was about not getting control. You started as executive vice president. Tony controls every decision, and then he obviously didn't like his spot in the pecking order and thought he created it and was sidelined. So I kind of get that in a way, and no fault of his, and the timing works great. But like, I just thought that was interesting too.
And I think watching the documentary too, the way he built himself is so fucking amazing. You know, these people, men and women that have come up in the WWE machine and then they bitch. You need to leave then, because you need to do what Zack Ryder did or Cody Rhodes, or they went out and they made themselves.
Make yourself undeniable. Yep.
By the way, Cody had to ask for his release. Zack Ryder was eventually released. That's a little bit of a difference there.
Yeah.
But they knew exactly what they were going to do when it happened. And Cody finally asked for it and then made his way through. The documentary goes very much in depth of that. And talking with his dad, even before his dad died, his dad's like, "You should probably quit.
Yep.
You should probably quit. If Stardust is killing you the way it is, you should probably quit, because they're not gonna move off of Stardust. They love Stardust. It's perfect mid card, but everyone said Stardust is not getting to the main event, and he knew that. And if that's what he wanted, he would have to I don't want to. And he had that conversation with Vince on the documentary where he said, I had to tell him I am not putting on the Stardust face paint anymore until I can discuss to the crowd how I'm going to get out of it. And they were like, no. And then I gotta go.
Fuck off.
And let me throw a question at you guys. Like, maybe I got to thinking, maybe his finishing the story isn't through Roman's belt; it's through Seth Rollins' TV title.
It would have happened
/ World Heavyweight Championship.
That offends me. It should not be. Like,
but doesn't that look like the NWA title? And doesn't that look like more like the Dusty? Or what they want him to do?
I don't think it will. I think Roman's going to deteriorate by story over the next like 6 months. And by the time Roman faces Cody again at WrestleMania, he'll be on his own.
I hope so.
Himself.
I hope so. I'm just saying.
I think that's the eventual outcome. I think that somebody that beats like LA Knight will go the Seth Rollins route.
Yes.
That would be the belt that he eventually gets, because I don't know if they're going to be ready.
Well, it won't even be Seth Rollins. It'll be someone. It'll be like
whatever.
It'll be the Money in the Bank winner that he takes.
It'll be Damian Priest or whoever, like
Finn, somebody. Yeah.
That wins
honestly, I could see Finn winning it and LA Knight taking it, and then Damian Priest taking it with the briefcase later. There's so much stuff that can happen on that side, and that's all fine. But Cody is destined for I don't want to say the real titles, because that's not nice, but Cody is destined for that. That
is nice. You're right.
I hope
Don't
so.
apologize.
I know. Jess, Roman's title is the TV title. I understand.
Not Roman.
Seth's title looks 1,000 times better. I absolutely can't. I don't like and have never liked that big W
style, the weird scratch logo thing.
Weird scratch logo on any of the belts. It looks cheap. It looks generic. It looks plastic. It doesn't look good. Like Seth's belt looks awesome. Absolutely love it.
And by the way, before this pay-per-view, the last time that Roman defended the title was against Cody at fucking WrestleMania. So what do you? I don't know. Anyway, I have major problems. But we're gonna move on to probably, in my opinion, the second worst match of the night, but really the worst match of the night. Shayna Baszler defeated Ronda Rousey in a MMA rules match. It wasn't the stipulation. Let me be clear. It wasn't the stipulation that made this match shitty. It wasn't. You want to know what made this match shitty? Ronda Rousey. And yeah, Ronda Rousey has no fucking charisma, and nobody cared that her best friend turned on her. They fucking cheered Shayna. And Shayna is a better heel, and you need a good baby face that's going to get.
Not only is she a better heel, she's a better talker. She's worked on her craft more than Ronda has.
And Shayna
I've said
is
this
good
over and over, Jess.
When you have a baby face that can get in there and get heat on Shayna, Shayna's excellent. I love Shayna. And but Ronda Rousey has proven that she's good at very little, and so it's like there's no position for her. Like she's not a people hate her. Like
she sucks on the mic, she sucks in the ring. All she is a name.
She's a very good athlete, but that doesn't translate all the time.
After the judo, but Jess,
she's got a good pouty face.
Yeah, after the judo throws, Jess, there's nothing after judo throws and submission holds.
Yeah, there's
Ronda Rousey's nothing in there. Nothing.
There's no flow. She has no ring psychology.
I would argue that Ronda's best time where she was promoting heel work in the ring was when Shayna was helping her.
Yeah, I won't go that far to say I hate her and I think she has no talent. I think she's a
great athlete.
I dislike her and I think she has no talent.
You and Dave are a tag team on that.
I think she's a great athlete, but I just think it doesn't translate all the time. And I think that she's proven it. And
I think she got tired.
I wasn't crazy. After she debuted at Mania, when her and Angle took on Triple H and Stephanie, after they got the spectacle away, they should honestly have put her down to NXT and let her train for a year. Like that would have been the best place for her, but they didn't. They kept her on the main roster. Right now
is the best thing.
They made her undefeated. Everybody jobbed to her. People didn't buy it. They ruined her. Like, and it's just
Ronda Rousey reminds me of like a female like Mongo.
By the way, do you realize that
he's a really good athlete, but he's just fucking sucks at everything.
If you hear about Kurt Angle and what he told Vince the first time they met, when Vince was going to put him on a platform and really sell him, he was like, "Well, Vince, you know I can never lose, right?" And Vince is like, "Ha ha ha! Get the fuck out of it! Get him the fuck out!" But they did it with Ronda.
Why would you say that?
I said this to all you guys on text this week. I said Ronda is a bad Goldberg. She's worse than Goldberg. She's Goldberg, but worse.
Why? What do you?
Right
in
now,
what way?
if Goldberg hears this,
you beat everyone, and then the pinnacle of losing.
Ronda wasn't afraid to take losses. That's not what you're saying, right?
I'm saying that the way she was built, once you do lose, nobody gives a shit.
Okay.
She's a bad Goldberg.
Got it.
Her second run is what killed her. Like,
it didn't matter.
The only mystique she had was
she wasn't unselfish.
No, I'm not saying that.
No, I don't think she was unselfish. I just think that like she just didn't translate well. I don't think that she practiced. I don't think that she trained or learned. She still looks like.
Do you think Ronda
she looks like she's fake MMA fighting?
She was a bad face and a bad
and that
heel.
style bothers me. Like her that jab that she always does. I'm like, I fucking hate that jab. It looks so fake and so stupid and so unrealistic. I'm like, it ruins anything that she does.
She never progressed. Like, she got put on the main roster in the mix with everybody else, and she looks the same as she did at her Mania match with Kurt Angle against Stephanie and Triple H. She never got better. Yeah. She never changed.
Yeah, she never got better.
It was a fake face.
You agreed.
Whenever she came to the ring, it was a horrible face thing with a fake smile, and when she was heel with the mascara and the makeup, it was a fake scowl. Like, there was I never bought anything into her character.
Yeah. It's harder than what people think, and she needed to get comfortable. There's a lot of people, but if they turn you heel and you still can't turn it around, you're just not mad.
Yeah.
Like, that's just the way it is.
She's got the tools.
It's sad to say.
You're
no.
We're all right.
I don't know.
I appreciate that she likes.
She has the tools. No, she doesn't. She doesn't have the tools either. She didn't.
I appreciate that she likes pro wrestling and her celebrity, because like she would show. We were in Riverside.
Fan?
We were in Riverside and we saw her in the front row for that Riverside NXT show. And I really like the fact that I love it when real athletes, I say real athletes, but you know what I mean? Like from actual fighting and stuff, go to watch wrestling because it makes me feel good.
Not predetermined athletes.
Yeah. So it's really cool when like an actual not predetermined athlete's in the front row. To me, I'm like, dude, it makes wrestling feel way more important, you know? So I appreciate her for that because she actually brought. People were like, Ronda Rousey goes to the real fighter, Ronda Rousey, who knocks everybody out, goes to wrestling. That's cool because people hear that and they might turn wrestling on and like it, you know? So I like that stuff, but that's where it ended for me, man. After she got going, I was like, Ronda's not good. Like, I'm sorry.
I mean, it was, like what Pritchard always says, like, it was, she looked great
when the bell rang.
And then the bell rang.
So that damn bell had to ring. So the next match was for the WWF WWE. Excuse me.
She could have been like a female Brock. She should have been a female Brock.
She should have been.
Where she just like beat the fuck out of everybody, like this like unstoppable like animal. And she just, I don't know if she just was kind of like, whatever. It was just like when she steps in the ring, it just looks to me like she's like, "Where's my check?"
Yeah.
And
that's how I feel about it. And I don't think she needs a check, by the way. But that's how it feels, right? And to your point, but when you look at Brock. And you look at, again, I'm that guy. I'm going to bring Kurt Angle up into it. These guys were actual collegiate athletes, won world titles, won stuff on the major circuits. But the difference is that when they get in there or when they're on the mic, you believe it. When Brock doesn't pin someone after he's beaten the shit, when he threw Cody out 6 times and Cody kept coming back in and Brock screamed to the heavens, like it got pissed, I believed it. I believed Brock was pissed. I believe he was going to destroy Cody and tear him in half. Ronda never carried that kind of belief. And I'll just leave it there. That's the difference.
Kurt Angle said the key. Kurt Angle said the key for me and why I took to it so well was all wrestlers are trained to not get on your back because you're going to get pinned in a wrestling match. So he's like, when they told me like you have to, everything you do is a derivative of a bump. Basically, you're going to bump on your back for everything. He's like, okay. And once he understood that, like he took to it like a duck to water. Brock the same thing. I mean, Brock didn't bump probably as much as Kurt, but like Brock was like, oh yeah, we're not in a real wrestling match right now, so we can be on our back.
I can get on my back. It's fine.
Yeah. In MMA, you're trained. Yeah, there's a lot of good MMA fighters that can fight from their back, but you would rather not be on your back.
She was never able to take the work from being on your back and coming back.
Yeah,
that was the problem.
I don't know. I think her biggest problem, and then we can go right to the next match. Is
it deserves? It's a lot of talk.
I don't think she's had the passion that a lot of people had that took to the next level, and she thought she did. She didn't.
It's a lot of work, man.
It doesn't work out for people sometimes. It's not bad.
It's okay. I still love her. I'd make out with her.
No,
if she'd have me, she wouldn't have me. But
I don't know what that is.
If she would have me,
call me.
She would have me. So the next match is for the WWE Intercontinental Championship, 13 minutes, 40 seconds. Gunther defeated Drew McIntyre. I was shocked that Drew McIntyre, after being off for a while, which internet rumors tell you that he was renegotiating his contract, he could have been also nursing an injury at the same time that he was renegotiating his contract. So I think it was much ado about nothing. I love Drew McIntyre, but I also love the fact that Gunther, by the way, is less than 1 month away from beating the Honky Tonk Man's record. And when I told Dave that, Dave's like, he's not fucking losing. And I was like, you're right. Like, and then he pins Drew fair. Heaven forbid you,
Fair.
I
you have
believe
your
I'm the
champion
one that said
go
that,
over.
Jess. I'm the
Oh,
one
was
that
it
said
you?
he
I'm
was
sorry.
so close
If it was
to-
you, I'm sorry.
If you go
Dave is so
back
much
to-
smarter than you. I just forget.
No, I
It's
get
true.
it. I get it.
It's true. I said, by the way, you go back and watch the replay. I said, by the way, there's no way Gunther's losing. You're like, I don't know. I'm like, he's a month away. And then you guys were like, oh, yeah, he's probably not going to lose then.
What I like about what they're like Triple H.
I got the receipts. I'm just saying.
But like about Triple H is kind of like, well, you can almost kind of see his vision kind of laying out that like if what we think is going to happen is like, you know, Cody's going to beat Roman at
Philly
in Philly. Well, you know, like what happens after that? And it's like probably like I don't know. I foresee like him like then sliding in, you know, whatever he's going to finish up with Roman, and then slide right into like, you know, they're already setting up heels for Cody to take on after he wins the belt.
Like, can I say something real
like
quick?
to take Gunther on afterwards, or to take on somebody else down the road. And they're
What you just said right now
like,
hit me really hard, actually. What if, and this, I'm totally fantasy booking and throwing it out there. There's really no evidence that this will ever happen. What if Cody's the one, after Gunther breaks the record, what if Cody beats Gunther and then says, that was just a warm-up, now I'm ready to end to end Roman?
Title versus title.
Like, I ended one record-breaking champion, now I'm coming for the other one. Like, and then maybe he'll lose the IC title by getting cheated.
By the way,
but, you know, whatever.
Cody
like,
Gunther would be a barn burner too.
No, I think a
Cody
title
can-
versus title in Philly would be very cool.
yeah, I mean, I don't know why would they
there's
merge
like
the IC
9 titles on the line.
Exactly.
Just they don't even know which
He's
one's on the line.
They're
Like,
like,
I don't know,
Gunther,
like
and I beat
whatever.
Austin Theory, and I beat Seth, and then
I'm stretching with that. I'm
I'm
stretching with that fantasy booking, but I'm
no,
just like, ooh,
because
that
I
would be a
think
good
there were
storyline.
rumors that WrestleMania the card was Cody versus Gunther, and I never understood it. I was like, how the fuck are we gonna get there? Like,
Yeah,
I think it's too early.
maybe
for
he's
that.
like, you know what? I was really emotional when I get there. I wasn't ready for Roman's family like to come at me like that and interfere, and I just slipped up and I got pinned. But I ended Gunther's record-breaking, you know, reign, and now I'm ready like to end the other.
That's what I'm
guy's reign.
saying.
This
Like
is my
maybe
time.
it's Cody's thing is Rollins' title, and then Gunther, if that's truly Roman, and then Roman's got his own
or not
bloodline
even,
finish.
or
in-
like Joe made a good point that maybe Gunther is like the challenger afterwards. Maybe they keep the IC title on Gunther for 2 years.
It's just cool that they're kind of like, I mean, they're setting up future, you know, like I don't know, just it's fun to see them kind of like building stars. You know, it's
yes.
like
Yeah,
like
building stars and building stories.
Gunther, I
Joe.
mean, like 18 months ago, I mean, yeah, like we knew him as Walter beforehand and whatever and blah blah blah, and we knew he was good, but like all of a sudden he turns into like this like guy's legit.
Have you
like
have you
people are
heard
like,
have you heard
I mean,
his
he's getting
response to
5-star
that, by the way,
matches, and
Joe?
he's like his entrance is awesome. Everything about him's really cool. Like,
Oh, it's great.
Like, I'm a big fan.
Zelling General. But have you heard his response when people ask him, how did you feel about losing your name? He's like, well, I kind of expected it. I knew that that would happen eventually. He's like, but it is my real name, so I'm glad that they're not using it. He's like, but at the same time, I've made way more money as Gunther than I had as Walter, so
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. He was like very upfront. I was like,
And
oh,
the Emporium,
all right.
his little 2 heaters, like the welcome to the, it's the best fucking
that's
entrance or whatever.
And when
I love
when they spin the jacket,
This jacket
when it takes
guy?
God.
fucking
Someone,
so good.
Corey Graves said, "Mark my words, Kaiser's going to be a main eventer in a couple of years
He's good.
because
He's
of the
really
he
way."
is good.
Was it Kyla Braxton or who did he have an angle with on Raw? I can't remember, but
Not
whatever. But Kaiser was doing his own thing.
He's gonna do well. There's so much talent in that fucking place right now. It's splitting at the seams.
But I think that
Really
this
can't
was a
hold
good
together.
match. It was in a hard position after the Shayna and Ronda
They
match.
built it, but they built
But
it. They built the
it was
crowd back
hard
up.
hitting. It
They
was
got
good.
back
It
up.
wasn't as good as a triple threat at WrestleMania, I have to admit, and it wasn't as good as Gunther and Sheamus, but it was close. And I think that if they weren't, they didn't get put after such a dud match, I think that they would have been better with the crowd. But they beat the shit out of each other, and I just
Jess,
am
I
I
would
can't tell you what a
argue-
fan I am of a champion going over clean and
Yeah.
showing why he's champion. I fucking can't tell you what a
It's
big
great.
fan I am.
No,
of
it's
that.
Yeah,
great.
go up.
It's good, and it's good to see that kind of like happening more and more often.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, true. I would argue that Gunther.
They have to answer a lot of
Drew,
corporate, masters and all that stuff here. But what I like about what Triple H has done, and Craig, back me up on how much you like Triple H. He has made it's a lot cleaner. Vince would 50-50 book and almost this man that has made the most definitive wrestling decisions in the history of pro wrestling, all up until the point where he was kicked out, basically. It just started losing it. And I think Vince started doubting himself. He's like, well, the advertisers and the crowd but their attitude in the back is and Vince was just getting older and he didn't know what to do anymore. Triple H has brought some stability to the win and loss record of people. He knows that that's important to win or lose and win, and it matters. And I think Triple H is doing a great job when it comes to that.
Yeah. I think it's a great point about Vince was like, as he got older, up until say 2010 or whatever, or 2015 or whatever, he only ever really had to answer to himself. Yeah. Even when they went public, he's like, yeah, fuck the shareholders. I'm gonna do whatever I want, whatever. He's like, if I want to change something. And I think as he got a little older, I think that's actually an interesting point that he started as who do I don't answer to myself anymore. I'm not making the decision. I'm making it for
when you have Fox Network,
for the shareholders. Am I making for the investors? Am I making it for, it almost seemed like the lines were blurred.
In 2018-19, when you have a network saying, we're going to give you $1.1 billion, put your product on that, I think he was like, oh shit, that's serious money, but that comes a lot of responsibility. Someone invests $1.1 billion into you, you kind of have to listen to them a little bit. And so I think that changed Vince. The pandemic, he had to hit reset on everything. And I think that was a good thing. The pandemic was not a good thing, but I mean, just in any fashion. But for WWE, it was weird. They started reporting their record profits in that time because they weren't losing money on house shows because they weren't selling house shows out before. They were down in attendance, and I think hitting the reset button
they changed Vince, their entire finance plan.
Showed Vince that shit, we got to start getting some new blood in here, and that was, I think, in a weird way, it reset them. And in the middle of that was the Roman storyline that started, and then coming out, it was just they rode that. They're like, "Oh, this is working." And then when Vince kind of got kicked out and Triple H,
I would argue that Vince might have killed the bloodline long before we've seen it now.
Maybe I would say that it's also probably maybe it's not so much Triple H as it is Nick Khan, which is
why do you want to not give him credit?
I mean, because I think Vince still, even when he was sitting home, still
you're right, though.
Had the thumbs down emperor, no, I don't like it. Kill it. And now
I think you're right. I think Nick Khan is a huge cog in there.
This strategy of going to different countries, this strategy of going to the merch that they're doing and customizing the merch and having arenas and everything, even it means going to Wales, even it means going to Australia.
It is long overdue, Craig. I mean, they're clamoring. You can have a SmackDown over there; they would sell 80,000 tickets.
The PR that they're doing, the press releases after every event. If you're on LinkedIn and stuff, and you see they're first to tout this is the greatest, most eyes on SummerSlam, most merch on SummerSlam. The MSG was the highest gate in MSG, so they're touting all their stuff they're really teasing it. What I find very interesting,
it looks like a real corporate now. They're like a corporation. It's weird.
Who I love. Is Triple H is actually not going to be on the board of the combined Endeavor WWE.
It's not surprising.
I don't think it's as bad as people think. I think that he can just stand creative.
Yes, but it's very so Vince is in a lot of trouble in his liability. He just had spinal surgery. If you believe that, he got popped by the federal government again. So it's this combination, and WWE only has a certain amount of board seats. Let's say you have 4 of the 9 or 10 board seats of this new joint Endeavor UFC WWF company. And it's McMahon and one other person or whatever, and it's not Trips. So I find that interesting, and we'll see where that goes. But the power behind,
I think they, and I could be totally wrong, I think they guide more of the business strategy, like you said, going in other countries, advertising things a different way, hyping the right numbers when you need to. I don't think that's going to affect Triple H in creative. I think that they're going to be as long as you're getting, you're filling the arenas and you're getting ratings, I don't think they're going to fuck with Triple H. I could be totally wrong. But why?
No, they've already said though that they will have what do they call it in fucking corporate speak when you're about to be fucking fucked up? Synergies, corporate synergies. When Endeavor and WWE merge, The corporate synergies will be immediate, they say, and
They're
all
gonna
that
lay the
means
fuck off.
is
It's gonna be
fucking
bad.
layoffs.
When I guess when UFC first got bought out by the original
Yeah.
company, they said nothing's gonna change, and like 2 months later, they did the
Yeah.
biggest layoff they ever did, and like they fucking changed the entire thing.
Yeah.
Like
It doesn't mean
the
talent.
all
It means
these
corporate office.
buyouts,
It
it's
means
all
legal.
Oh, it'll
it's
be
all
talent.
bullshit.
It'll be talent
It'll be
too.
no. I don't think it'll be a single. It'll be ad sales, human resources, the corporate stuff that you
Which
can
is fine.
cherry pick
Which
with
is fine.
UFC and stuff.
And apparently like product placement in the ring.
Yes.
Like
It'll be talent. You want to know why? Because
with Bianca
now
drinking a C4 as she walked to the ring.
it'll be talent, and this might be good for Khan or bad or for Tony Khan on the AEW side because it's going to be talent because they're not going to negotiate anymore and bid. Like that's their big with UFC, they stopped doing that. So you have people that try to play AEW against them or whatever. Vince would be like, "What are we gonna do, pal? This new company, the Endeavor company, or what do they call it, Craig? What's the new? Is it Endeavor? Is that
I think it is Endeavor, but it's UFC and
like
WWE.
so they've already leaked out that they're not going to negotiate.
The stock abbreviation will be TKO. If I'm not mistaken.
If people are not bringing extra value, and they just say, "I just want a bigger contract because I've been here a long time," they're going to be like, "See ya." Like, so I think there's a lot of talent that are going to be like, "Bye." Like, then they'll hire new talent as well that want the chance to get on the biggest stage in the world and do their thing. So I think it's going to be very interesting. Like, honestly, people that have been chilling there for a long time, like Miz, like Ziggler, may go because Endeavor might be like, "Well, we're not going to give you any more money. Like, you're not." I mean, we got the bloodline shit and we got all these other people that are moving the needle for us. So it could change the mid card like quite a bit, like in that company. I don't know if that's good or bad. I just feel that some shakeups coming on the talent level. These older people that have been there a long time, we love the Miz, we love Ziggler. I mean, they could be gone.
Yeah, but guys like but guys like Miz and Ziggler, they're not really expecting a big increase in their contract either.
Maybe or maybe not.
They've kind of wrapped their head around the fact of like,
yeah,
I know my role here. I know what I do. I know I'm going to make, I'm going to get a contract for $600,000. I'm cool with $600,000. Like, whatever. Like, I'm going to get some stock. I'm going to get some merch back end. Like, like I'll get $600 off my
you have Waller out there who's kind of being the Miz
stuff.
Yeah, like I think there's going to be a big shakeup in some of like the mid card. I don't think they're going to want people lingering around because now
they're pushing and they're pushing a lot of.
No, I think as long as they're growing, I think their talent budget will stay pretty steady if they get similar deals to Fox like the billion and I think that's okay. I think it's the synergy. It's the upper. It's on the way up, and the ad sales and the corporate.
But they're taking some of that talent that maybe can't wrestle, but they have that wrestling mind, and they're putting them into creative. Rude is going into more of like an executive producer role, like where he's going to help produce matches. All of these people are coming in. Jamie Noble's been back there forever. Kind of like putting his input. Like there's all these people back there
because no one at that company knows how to fucking run WWE and run sports entertainment. So like said, they're gonna give them a budget and back off and say,
Bobby Roode's, all those people are going to be back there helping to make the product what it is. So Triple H doesn't have to. He is creative and he'll decide who goes over. But he's got all those people around him. He's got this clique around him, if you will, to help placate these matches in a certain way. Yeah, I mean, Shawn Michaels is running NXT with him. I mean, they're all there. There's even gifts on that where like they were making fun of Vince on TV and now they've taken over. I mean, Michaels, it's really funny. It's just so weird to see them. Actually,
did you ever think that? Like, let's go back. Well, let's go back to Shawn Michaels, like before he left after WrestleMania 14. I never would have looked at him or Triple H. Looking at the infant stages of DX, I would never fucking imagine.
These guys are going to run the entire
those two guys would be in fucking charge of
25 years.
Shawn Michaels, and by the way, they know what they're doing.
They do.
They know what they're doing. It's weird. Like because once they got over their own hubris, they realized how it works and how long-term stories do work. Even though
when we like stuff, Craig and I are in hell. Like, there's no two ways about it. Like, when NXT does something good, I'm like I see his stupid face going like, Shawn Michaels and Mr. WrestleMania. Shut up. Like, I just get it. God damn it. Like,
to see Triple H in like a post Summer Slam like media scrum, interview, which I stay up now and watch on YouTube because I enjoy it. But to see him run it and Fuck me.
He knows what he's talking about.
No, he
talks-
doesn't. He
like
does no
it.
fucking anything.
You're such
He
a
reads
liar.
notes.
You're so
He
angry.
did it. He's no different from the person that fucking went up to the writer, said, "Am I fucking going over?" Crumpled the script and threw it in his face. He's no
He was
different than
world
that guy right
champion.
now.
Right.
Except
he was world champion.
Except he knows the bigger picture now. So now he can tell people like, "No, you're not going over, and here's why." He's just a better liar.
I'd eat shit like it. Remember the curtain call? You heard of the little thing called the fucking curtain call? Yeah, we know.
Telling you, man.
So I like that we're
We didn't
spacing
even
out
get
a
through the whole
review of a
card, by the
pay-per-view
way.
with our feelings on the current stuff.
Yeah,
I
it was
this.
like I said, linear thing, but we went on
Yeah.
all these tangents and stuff. And we
the next match was 18 minutes.
fuck, we're
30
still on
seconds long.
SummerSlam. That's so funny.
Yeah, it was for the WWE World Television
Match two.
Championship. Seth Rollins defended his TV title
Just
against
stop
Finn
saying
Balor.
that. Stop that.
It's true. It's
Stop
true. It's true. It's a title, Dave. Don't make piss me off.
You say it every
The
week.
name of the
It's
title.
old.
God damn it.
It's not old. It catches on. That's why there's catchphrases. That's why wrestlers say catchphrases and stuff, because it catches on. Catchphrase.
It's not catching on. It's not catching on.
It is catching on. It's the world TV title. It's
a
shit.
beautiful belt. Seth is amazing.
Looks like the NWA.
Actually, well, Seth is amazing. I never said that Seth wasn't amazing. I mean, I'm pleased. Like that, him and Finn are fantastic. But I mean, he pinned Finn fair the last pay-per-view, and I'm supposed to care about this one. And the whole thing about Damian maybe cashing in the briefcase is supposed to carry this title, I guess. It was a good match. I have to say, like, the end of this match was excellent. The last 5 minutes, I was like, wow, that was really good.
I loved it.
Really,
You know, Triple H did all this, right, Jess?
No.
He did, yeah, he did.
Okay.
As long as Shawn Michaels stays away from it, I'm fine with that.
All I'm saying is, like, the match is good. The ending is fine.
Rollins took a buckle bomb, like, almost badly.
So much story. By the way, can we just say that Finn putting 7 years on
his scar?
Yeah.
That
I was like, Finn is a genius. Like, God damn it.
he's still lacking
good.
something, though. Would you say that? Like,
Well,
is it blasphemous
winning
to
matches.
say?
No.
Yes, he lacks
No.
winning matches. Yes,
Yeah.
he doesn't win
He's
matches
not.
like big matches.
There
That's
is-
what's fine.
It's hard to take him seriously when he hasn't won a match in like
and that he
7
lost
years.
clean. He lost clean to the
Again-
Rollins a month ago, and then now he
Again,
lost again.
all I'm saying is everything that Finn is doing, I believe, we could talk about the wins and losses. That's not his decision. He's doing everything he's supposed to do.
Oh, he's doing
the-
amazing.
Is he just a
like
product
that.
of bad luck, like the WrestleMania ladder and the
he's-
18
he's
stitches in
he's
the head?
Best version. He's the best version of Finn Balor that we've ever seen.
I agree with
And
that.
just like, we're seeing the best version of Seth Rollins that we've ever seen. And you can
Agree with
argue
that
who's
too.
going to win, who's going to lose that stuff. He's in the main event. I'm fine with it. I'm happy.
I think he's happy. He's in the best faction, Judgment Day, and
Yeah.
there's a lot of meat on that
Judgment
bone.
Day is doing.
They're
some
oddly
serious
getting to a
work.
point where they almost have like where there's almost too much talent,
Yeah.
and
Yes.
like they can't. They're not gonna make Seth lose. They're not gonna make
Everyone
Gunther
can't
lose.
win,
They're not gonna
Joe,
make
right?
Roman lose. They're not gonna make Cody lose.
Yes.
They're not gonna make so. If they're not making those guys lose, they also have all of this amazing other talent, the Drews and the Finn
They're gonna
Balor's and
lose.
the Damian
Yes.
Priest and like all these other guys. Someone's got to lose.
Yeah.
And so like it just keeps to be, it just somehow slides into the fact that like the same guys keep on losing, so it's like, how much can Drew lose before we don't care anymore?
Yeah.
But like,
But it's a business of spots,
But, like, and I like
you
Drew a
have to
lot,
fight
like-
to keep your spot. And in the old days, in the Attitude Era, you had 5 spots, 6 spots. Now, maybe you have a little more spots, but like you're not going to give them up. So it's like the people that don't get to that next level, and maybe that's Finn, who you love and crawl and scratch, and like you just kind of give up on them. Like if they don't.
I
mean, at some point, Finn Balor becomes Tito Santana.
Yes.
It's like,
and this is
he's
why.
he's gonna
This is why.
he's gonna put on a great match.
people
You know
love
he's not
Tito
gonna win,
Santana, by
but he's
the
gonna
way.
put on a good match, and you're kind of gonna care. But like, he's not gonna win. But like,
And
it's
maybe
gonna be a
it's
good
not all
match.
Finn's fault. Maybe he's not good at politics in the back. Maybe he's just missing that X factor in that.
He's
Or
not-
Jake the Snake
or just be
Roberts-
like
yeah.
he's not marketable. Like
Or-
maybe they just
or,
like.
It's not even that. Or Jake the Snake Roberts has never won a WWE World Title at all,
and it didn't
None.
matter.
Or you know what I mean? Like I say it all the time. Like it's
Finn
fine.
doesn't need a title. We talked
And it's
about
why
this.
it's why AEW should not fail and why people should not wish it to fail. People should go over there and learn a
Could
different
you imagine
hold.
if
Like,
Finn went to AEW
just
right now,
that way.
he would clean their clocks. He would have to take every title.
Whether they're pushed right or not, it doesn't matter. If Miro ever comes back over to WWE, you don't think he's better for it. Even if he was frustrated over there in AEW, I wasn't used right. It doesn't matter. You got to go over there and do something different than what the machine would have told you to do.
Yeah.
You were doing Rusev Day, and you were putting that over, and it got you nowhere. So you went to another company, you breathed different air, you liked or you didn't like it, and now you're back. You'll have a different take on WWE when you get back in that water.
Look at Cody.
Look at Cody.
Cody came back a man, bro.
There's nothing. I love Finn. There's nothing wrong with it. I have a problem with their titles. I have a problem with what they're doing. Roman is wrestling less and less, but he's undefeated though in the storyline. He's wrestling less and less, and so he's only defending the title once every 4 months.
No
so
problem.
the thing is now they bring this fake title up, and it's ridiculous. Like, to me, it's ridiculous. Like, why do this? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me, like, to bring the world title back. But whatever. I mean, they're selling merchandise. They're selling those belts and shit, and I guess that's millions of dollars.
There's
fine.
your answer.
Yeah, but
we're all
it's
chanting
just silly.
"Whoa, whoa,
like,
whoa!"
Yeah.
Rollins music.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't make sense. Like,
Rollins is great.
You're right.
I mean,
we've talked about it.
Rollins,
It's been talked about before. But like, yeah, Rollins' belt doesn't mean no one's taking it seriously.
Yeah, they wanted to. So maybe
they want to.
That's what I'm saying. Like, maybe they're going somewhere with it. Maybe it will.
I look at Gunther as having more like
clout.
title cred than Seth.
Yeah, he has more clout than Seth.
Why
again, the belt was practically handed to Seth, and I don't know. I don't have a I just don't have the same problems that you guys have with it. We have main event matches on B pay-per-views because of this title, and I would argue that Gunther has not suffered from it. They're selling merch, they're selling belts. I don't see a downside of it.
And that's ultimately going to win is their merchandise sales. But when you create a title because you're like, that other guy won't lose, so we're just going to make a new title over here because we're tired of him winning. Then they allow him. That's silly.
That's the purest thought of you, Jess, because you are a purist, and I respect that 100%. I mean, I'm not going to try to fight with you about that. It matters. It matters. At the end of the day, though, I like Seth and Finn fighting it out for a title that is on a world scale that has some clout, and if they keep building it, they've broken this off several times. And by the way, Jess, we've talked about this too, where they've done this. They handed Triple H the big gold belt 20 years ago. Just gave it to him.
That's how started that one. Is they just literally gave it to him.
Yep. Yeah. So, but we enjoyed that title for several years longer than we thought we would because of that one handoff. So all I'm saying is I get the purest thought of it. It matters. I'm not trying to fight that, but I enjoy having a secondary world title that gets either a B main event or the main event on a B pay-per-view, if that makes sense. They have to build their stars up in other ways, and it's doing the job. I'm not mad at it.
You can put your main world title on someone that will be available. That's all.
No, it's fine. No, it's totally fine. 4 times a year, wrestle it.
If you're gonna have 2 world titles, SmackDown and Raw, that's fine. Don't have Roman sling 3 on his shoulder. Get rid of everything. Fucking
just stop doing that. To their defense, that I think
you're going to give them a new title that kind of encompasses the 2 titles. Stop carrying around the other 2 titles.
They did stop it, but when they went
diluting
when they went on ESPN, Heyman carried them both, and then ratted out Bobby Heenan for being dead. But hey, he had the other 2 strapped on his shoulder.
If anyone's allowed to do it, he is actually. He knows and respects him and loves him.
It's
He's
weird.
dead.
As soon as it left his mouth, I was like, "That's completely harmless."
It's okay. It's okay.
Well, Bobby would have laughed.
He would have. That's exactly right,
yeah.
Dave. He would have laughed.
So I thought they tried to make a big deal out of it. Bobby would have been like, "That was good.
He got him.
Good.
He got him.
Yeah, he got me.
Seth wins. Seth wins, and Damian kind of got involved. There's dissension in the Judgment Day, but they're still red hot.
What?
Dom and Rhea made a little appearance in there too. So they weren't on the card, but they made appearances.
They got paid. They got paid. It's good.
Yeah,
everything's fine.
The next match was 20-minute match. Bianca Belair defeated Asuka, who was the reigning champion, and Charlotte in probably the worst women's match I've seen in forever.
Can I say though, I know why you're mad.
No, I'm not mad. The match was awful. I'm not mad at anything. The performers were terrible. They didn't gel. Charlotte was the worst I've ever seen her.
Can I?
Charlotte looked really out of it.
It was awful. They were
just she was almost looked like she was just phoning it in.
Charlotte is another. I don't want to say another Ronda, but it's the closest thing to Ronda right now. Where
she's not another Ronda. Jesus Christ.
She's no. Hold on. I'm not trying to say like she's bad like Ronda in the ring, but she's checked out like Ronda is. She doesn't.
There might be something to that. There might be something.
She's on her way out. Look. She's completely changed her physical appearance.
Because we all said she was too thin.
Else. It's not.
So she tried to gain some
No.
muscles.
Well, I mean, if she did. I mean, I'd like her to do some squats at least. You know,
she's always the butt.
The butt is the butt's an issue.
She's got her father's hips. There's nothing she could do about the butt. She's got her dad's hips.
I'm not trying to be like really rude about like the appearance of it. But what I'm trying to say, and Becky.
Are you saying that we are?
No, I don't know. Becky.
I don't know.
I'm trying not to offend anyone in this whole statement.
I know.
But Becky suffers from the same thing where when Becky was a wrestler, she's not a wrestler anymore. When Becky was a wrestler, she had the ability to throw people around and she had strength and girth to do that. So did Charlotte. They don't have that anymore. They look like regular women that are in great shape, phenomenal shape, but they're not wrestlers anymore.
They're not putting masks on. Yeah. Yes.
They don't look like they can throw around 180 pound
I think
woman.
you said it right a couple seconds ago. I think that we don't realize how long Charlotte's been doing this. She's been around a long time. And she was around right before the women's kind of evolution kicked off or whatever. And she was having great.
Mm-hmm.
Charlotte is I love Charlotte as a wrestler. This was she had a fucking barn burning match against Rhea at WrestleMania. Just fucking.
I was just gonna say that, yeah.
35
This was the best match of that night. Charlotte's
original match when we went to New Orleans against Asuka was awesome. She has had so many good matches. I'm not suggesting
not the same.
For some reason, this night I'm just judging this match. They didn't click. It was really bad. I mean, appallingly bad. They were blowing spots all of the time, and I'm like, what is happening right now?
Can I tell you why?
She was not laying shit in. I don't think they gelled.
Because they were too. This is what I think happened. They were too concerned about the Bianca spot on the outside, which would lead to the fact that she had the knee injury when she won the title. That the briefcase would be cashed, and it would go over to Io. They focused so much on the spot to the end that they didn't take care of the match itself.
Yeah, it was really rough, and I can't describe it. All three are wonderful. I love Bianca. I love Asuka. I love Charlotte. I think Charlotte's great.
It didn't work.
But Jesus, I don't think I've ever seen this is like I said, this is the worst women's match I've seen in a long time.
I hate to say it too. Charlotte also had a massive wardrobe malfunction where they were waiting in the corner, but her top totally came undone, and the ref had to fix it for her, and they were waiting in the corner for 30 plus seconds. For her to don't do that. We didn't see anything. But what I'm saying is it's the same thing if Brock shorts had totally ripped and we would needed new shorts, which almost happened in the Cody match. That's not
get some Brock dick.
The little Brocker was hanging out.
The little Brocker was hanging out. But I'm saying she was in
Great
danger
Lakes.
of her whole top coming off. The ref had to adjust it. That was one big botch. It was a wardrobe malfunction, legit. But at that point, once that happened, everything else started to fall apart, and then they became too concerned about the let's go home, and but that's what I think. And they got really, but once Bianca's knee hit and the other stuff happened the way it happened exactly the way it was supposed to. It was just
that spot.
We all got
like the knee spot,
on the Bianca knee, by the way.
Yeah,
we all on text was like, she's fucked.
That match, it was so weird, and they tried.
Plus, she was hurt for real.
They tried a handful of times to put that match into second gear, and I thought for a while, okay, here it goes. Maybe the first 5 minutes was rough, and then they just they botched again, and I was like, what's happening? Right now, it just won't.
Yeah.
Something was you're not going to get a good match out of this. The Force stopped them from doing it. I did like the end. Io Sky cashed in. I don't know what her character's like. Bailey's more over than her. It's going to be again. You devalue the title. Bianca was strong on her own.
Io's okay.
I love Io.
She is okay. No. Hear me out. She is okay, but who is she? What's her character? Do you care? I don't. And do you like Bailey more?
She's the chick that runs, jumps off with a trash can on her head. She's earned her keep. She's been absolutely.
That's her character. Is that she jumps with a trash can on her head every match? Because I've only seen her do it once. And that's not her character. Why would you care? Why do you care about her? Bianca was independent.
I care about
Charlotte's
her because of what I.
Io's a workhorse. She's always been good.
She's always been in NXT and on Independence. She carried titles everywhere. She jumped
Bailey's
off
gonna
of major
outshine her.
platforms in
Bailey's gonna
NXT.
outshine her because we don't know who she is. Like, it's the same reason why I didn't like
why
one of the
is that
Usos.
a problem? Why are we mad
And that's
about
fine.
that?
If it's to break up like Damage Control and
That's
have
what I'm
Bailey
saying.
get the
It's gonna
title
break
back,
up
I'm okay
Damage
with
Control.
it. Like, and
I mean,
the
if
heel's
it
happy
leads
to
to
get
that,
it.
that's fine because I think Bailey's due anyway. Like, I think
Yeah.
Bailey's great, and I think that's fine.
Bailey,
but like,
I wouldn't mind saying that.
yeah,
Bailey's
Bailey's
the best
great.
version of Bailey.
I'm good with that. With Bailey beating you at Mania.
Well, Shots is
Yeah.
going to be the catalyst to breaking them up. Shots is going to be that crazy thing. That's
I
gonna
forgot
break
she
them
was
up
involved. Yeah, she's not. I forgot she was involved in SmackDown.
Yeah, so that's what's going to happen, and Bailey and Io are going to have friction, and then they're going to wrestle each other, and it's going to be great. Bailey is awesome. Bailey is the best
love
version
Bailey.
of Bailey ever.
I love Bailey.
Bailey is phenomenal. Even I talked to my daughter. She's like, I hate it when she turned heel, but like when you watch her now, is she hilarious? Like,
She's one of the
she's
only
so good.
original, besides Becky, the original crop that has changed her character. You know, people got mad when Sasha left. I'm like, she's the same when she's a face or heel. I love Sasha too, but I mean, who is she? Like, I don't see anything.
I'm
Bailey,
not missing it.
when Bailey left her face gimmick, she made an effort to change it. Like, and Becky's the man
She
was
goes-
a totally
she
You
goes
different
out of
can
her
character.
hug her
way.
to what Bailey is now.
Yeah, like, and
it's
that's what you have to do
total
in
evolution.
professional wrestling.
Have you heard her
thing.
make fun of Michael Cole? Like, hey, Michael.
that's all
She's
she
like,
does.
Ding,
It's great.
ding
It's
dog, and she's like, ding dog.
Or like
Out of
Michael will
nowhere.
get like
It's
Cole will
so
get one
bad.
on her, and she'll be like, "Shut up, Michael Cole!" Like, and
Yeah.
it's just really
the
funny.
best.
Like it.
It's so good. By the way, he's
She
he's,
deserves. Bailey
now-
deserves better. She does.
She'll be,
And-
and she'll get that. She'll get that.
Maybe
Go
you
ahead.
guys are right, actually, that this is going to be her comeuppance now. She's going to betray Sky and like all that stuff or whatever, and because she's
Yep.
selfish and Bailey deserves it. If the end result is Bailey winning the title, I'm totally fine with it because she's great and she should. And the work that she's
And-
done, the injuries that she's had to overcome,
Sustained.
like
Yep.
she's ready. Like she's ready for it.
It's gonna be good
But,
stuff. Next match.
This
What do you
match
got?
was terrible. This match was terrible. I forgot. And then the main event, Roman Reigns defended his Universal Undisputed WWE Championship, 36 minutes. When you
It
pinned
was
Jey
good.
Uso
Was
by
it really?
It's
pinfall.
fun.
I was really drunk. I don't really remember it. But
It was.
Yeah,
It was.
I was. It was like 6:00 in the morning for me,
Yeah.
and I was like,
The show went long. I think the show went like 4 hours, right? I think the show
Yeah.
went almost 4 hours. Like
It went
honestly,
past the 4 hour.
it was too long. There's no way that match should have been 36 minutes.
you
long.
could have cut this match by 10 minutes and told the same story. Nobody believed
You
Jay
could
was
cut it in
winning.
half.
Yeah.
Nobody believed Jay was winning, and like it's.
I actually was hoping that they were going to go a different route with this match. I was hoping that like I wasn't looking for a squash match, but I was looking for like Roman to win like definitively and be like, fuck off.
This is why I'm still
Like,
champion.
tribal
this-
chief
because
here.
you knew
Not this
Jay
not this
wasn't
kind of
gonna
like
win.
like hodgepodge kind of thing,
Well-
or whatever. Just like, listen, like you want to attempt to break away, go ahead, and then see what happens, and then like to kind of reassert like Roman's dominance over the
But they have
bloodline.
to- they have
And
to
like
tell-
not a squash per se, like a 30-second squash, but I thought he should have kind of like
18
almost
minutes.
like Brock Lesnar to John Cena at SummerSlam 15. You know, at that.
What did I
SummerSlam
read
of
online
2015.
too? That Roman's entrance took over 5 minutes
That's hilarious.
for him to walk down to the
Fucking
ring. It's
hilarious.
insane. Like it's too long.
Yeah, it's too long. I mean, I
It's
love
too
the
long.
entrance,
It's
it's
too
great,
long
but,
against
like,
I
somebody
got
who-
up and made some nachos, and I was still had time. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I
it's
did.
too long against
Jay's entrance
somebody
was
who I
long
didn't
too.
think was
Jay's
going to
entrance
win.
was also long.
Yes.
It's I agree with the interest that they can be a little bit faster, but I would also say that you don't want to disparage Jay's loss too much, and maybe the heel work with Jimmy at the end would have been fine even if you took off 10 minutes of time, but there is
Yeah, but was
a,
I the only one that thought that didn't make any sense? Like it was
No,
Jimmy
I
who
disagree
was
with you.
pushing Jay to like
there's
come
there's
with
gonna
him on
be-
this like
no
on
there's
this turn to begin with.
Jay was the one that initiated everything from the get, and Jay is the one that at the end of it, or Jimmy is going to be the one that says, "I don't care about Roman and the Bloodline either, but I am sick of you talking about that you are the main event. That means that I am not, and that you think you're better than me, and this is about me and you in Philadelphia." And that's what's going to happen. Eventually, Jimmy's going to part off ways from the Bloodline as well, and it's going to be about brother versus brother, and that's all it's going to be in Philly. That story will take time to produce, but it's not about Roman anymore. It's about those two. If you listen to their interviews over time, like 5-10 years ago, They've always said that before they leave, they want to face each other at a WrestleMania in a major situation. That's always been the story that they wanted to tell. It has to be the right time, and it has to be on their way out. They've been doing this for 15, 20 years as well.
It's been a long time.
This is it for them. This is it. And what they wanted, so Philly, in my opinion, is going to be Jay versus Jimmy, probably like third down from the top of the card, probably third, fourth down, pretty high level. Maybe even second night. I don't know. But that's where it's going to lay, and it's going to be eventually where Jimmy tells Roman to fuck off too. Roman will be on his own. Solo will be gone.
Yeah, but Jimmy already did that though. Like Jimmy already like Jimmy led the it was Jimmy that led the way on giving him a kick to the face. Like I did this because you wouldn't do it. You know that whole thing. And so it was like then it was like for him to kind of like flip flop the other direction.
To your point, as soon as I leave, Jay. You're saying you're the main event now? I'm the one who started this separation. And it's gonna be those two. Roman's not gonna be in the equation in that feud towards WrestleMania.
To your point,
the press
Dave,
conference. Oh, go ahead, Craig.
SmackDown tonight was Jay actually saying, "I'm leaving. I'm out of the bloodline forever. I'm out of WWE."
Company.
So it will make that breathing room to maybe get back Jimmy versus Jay, because we can't take more. We can't go another 6 months of those two guys. So this is the breathing room. You might be right.
That's what it is. It has to be. They have to be mano a mano.
But to Joe's point, it has been, and that's why to Joe's point, it has been done before. Like it's nothing new, but maybe this is the breath that it needs. One of them to go away to fucking make it even possible.
And to Dave's point too, they have to, because Roman doesn't wrestle a lot anymore, they almost have to kind of focus on building the stars beneath him, because Roman's going to be Roman, but like he's not an active champion. I hate to say it, like, and maybe that's good for the storyline, but like they have to. They made Sammy. They made now they're splitting the Usos up and they're trying to make individual stars out of them. So again, you do.
My biggest concern is for Solo. I don't see where he fits in.
I don't think that he'll be fine. I think I think that you're right. I think that that's kind of on purpose in a weird way, and that he'll eventually either just really side with Roman and then he'll start developing a personality, or maybe who said it earlier in this call? Sorry, I don't remember. It's been over an hour. That maybe when Roman finally loses, he'll be naked, so to speak. Everyone will have left him. From whether they're feuding with each other, Solo said, "I'm out of here," like, or whatever. And then finally, when Roman's like, "Oh shit, I got to face so-and-so one-on-one.
I got to face Cody by myself at WrestleMania."
Yeah, and he loses. And that's the whole end of the storyline, was like, after his family left and everything else, like he couldn't do it anymore.
That's what I believe is going to happen. That's what I think.
That could be great too.
We'll
hey,
see.
Again, I'm just saying this match was too long and it was boring. I'm not suggesting that the storyline hasn't been one of the greatest storylines in WWE history. I'm not suggesting that Roman still doesn't sell the second most merchandise, because we all know who sells number one merchandise now. And I'm not suggesting that we don't need characters.
We all did that at the same time.
High five. I was talking about Gunther, but what I don't know.
Oh, sorry.
But
ring general. What?
The night was long. They went over 4 hours. I'm guessing at this point, and then the main event was 36 minutes.
It was a long ass show.
With entrances, the main event was well over 40 minutes. I think it's just like, I think they thought the crowd would be in it more. I think that this story was written to, and then somebody said something like the tribal war rules was like no one could interfere, and then fucking here comes Solo interfering, like, or whatever. And so people were mad about that. They're like, "What are you doing?" Like, so I don't know. Listen. There's going to be a lot of WWE haters out there that want this to fail. It obviously has not been a failure, and it's hilarious how probably the most successful storyline, especially modern WWE history,
I just don't have
far from a failure. It's far from a failure.
I'm enjoying all of it. I don't.
That's good. And no matter what I critique or whatever, it's still interesting. Tonight on SmackDown was still interesting. It's still, you're getting these characters. I love the fact that we're learning more about like the underlings. We know who Roman is. So it's like, I just love that we learned who Sammy was. Look at Sammy. Look at now we're going to learn more about Jay and Jimmy, and Solo will come. Bless you. Solo will come, for sure. I think it's really cool. They're making stars everywhere. And I think Joe, you said earlier too, like this roster saturated. Triple H was actually getting kind of slack from some of the reporters at the press conference afterwards. He's like, dude, we're in such a good place right now where we don't have enough room for all this talent. Dom, Rhea not on the show in a wrestling capacity. Bailey still not on the show in a wrestling capacity. He's like they had to move some matches. The US title got kicked off. You know what I mean? He's
they
like,
had to
dude,
dump they had to dump like
Becky
20
kicked.
dudes
Becky,
in a
yeah,
battle
Becky and
royal
Trish.
just to make something happen.
I mean, I could definitely argue that if you would have took 10 minutes off the main event and maybe 5 to 10 minutes off that fucking horrible women's match and not had Ronda on the card at all, you could have fit Trish and Becky or some other big marquee match or had a US title match. But it's fine. Really, who's going to remember?
Funny that there wasn't like that. Yeah. Shave off 20 minutes off the main event, cut Ronda and Shayna.
Here's the question,
and then you fit on an Austin Theory match or.
Yeah, Austin Theory wasn't on the card. So here's the question: do you think in a year or 2 years that SummerSlam could be a 2-night event?
I hope not.
That'd be fun.
I hope not.
Me and Jess thought that'd be fun. You guys are like,
it could
nope.
progress. It could progress into that.
I mean, there's part of me that if
they make each night 2 hours long.
I only even like the.
Do they make what?
Each night 2 hours long.
I don't even like the idea of WrestleMania being 2 nights because we went to the WrestleMania we went to in New Orleans was so fucking long.
Yeah.
That like by the end of it, we were so fatigued.
Yeah.
Like the audience is so fatigued that it's like I got nothing left in the tank
do it
by the end of the night.
That was one of the things that the pandemic changed because remember
you can't do it like if you cut out a bunch of bullshit out of like that, you could probably put WrestleMania on one night, make it 5 hours. 4 to 5 hours. Cut out all of the middle miscellaneous bullshit in between all of the all of the stuff.
You just leave a lot of people off the card, though.
I don't think you can leave a lot of people off the card. Every match doesn't need to be fucking 32 minutes long.
Triple H said that too on the thing. He was like, he didn't say these words, but it reminded me of before. Jim Ross will talk about it. All the old guys will all talk about it on their podcast. Of especially Bruce Pritchard. He's like, it's heartbreaking when you don't make the WrestleMania card, but that motivates you to be there next year or try to be there next year or try to grab the brass ring. He's like, when you have a WrestleMania that's 6-7 hours or 2 nights, everyone gets on it. It's like, it's not special, even though we know it's a special WrestleMania, it's a special night for 2 nights. But Bruce is like, back in the day, people were kind of bummed, and Vince loved that because he's like, well, you're going to fight harder, aren't you? If you really want to be here, you're going to try and keep trying to make your character over. So not every year you wouldn't make WrestleMania. If you did, and you're like, fuck, and then next year, and then when they make the documentary about you, you could tell about, man, I missed WrestleMania 37, but I fought so hard that year, I was on 38, and it's a good storyline for your career and your path or whatever. I agree. I don't think everybody should be on the WrestleMania card. I think that waters it down.
There's also just so much fluff, on the show that every entrance doesn't need to be 9 minutes long.
Yeah. I will say I will
2 minutes just to get down.
There's not a lot of fluff anymore, even with 2-night WrestleManias. Like the way it's kind of done, maybe
as long as they're not shit matches on the card. Like back when we grew up, it was like, how many times have we reviewed something from the 90s where we're like, God damn, that was a fucking one-match card, wasn't it? You know what I mean? It's like now it's like at least if you have the Rays and Dom, like when we went, that was a feature match. Wasn't a main event. You had Charlotte and Rhea. You had the fucking tag match.
Every match meant something in both nights.
Yes.
Except maybe for the McAfee segment, the McMahon segment when he busted his quad.
That was a disaster.
That was great.
It was awesome.
But
you can't do that for SummerSlam.
But I like that we wove it out in between the talking about each match. We talked about the current stuff that was going on. That's pretty good.
Yep.
And I think that we're excited. We're good. We're just fucking wrestling.
By the way, quick ad lib. Craig said Mysterio won the U.S. title tonight.
Yeah, he did.
I did, and we didn't even talk about All In. We'll talk about that next week. We didn't even touch AW tonight. What assholes?
Well, I think they're going to fill next week. Would be better to touch about it because I think they're going to fill the card all next week.
We will.
Yeah.
When is All In?
Like August 27th, 26th, something around there.
That's a win.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
It's Saturday at
The
1
new
p.m. I
Wembley.
think, or Sunday 1 p.m.
Are they up
Sunday.
to 80,000 tickets yet?
They beat
Sold?
they
Close.
beat SummerSlam '92 in ticket
They beat
sales.
Summer. Yeah.
Good for them, man. That's
I
awesome.
hope that crowd is good. I think it's going to be a lot of people that AEW people are just.
I'm not trying to knock AEW in that because that's an incredible feat. I don't care who you are. All I'm saying is Tony, the other Nick Khan, is right in trying to take that shit overseas because there's a lot of money to be made. Over there.
Oh my God.
If AEW can do it, and AEW is a good product, I'm not trying to talk shit. Imagine what the machine can do if they just
AEW is not big over there, so it's everyone that's bought tickets is like it's a spectacle, and they're bringing people. It's not people that have seen the product before. They're going to need to blow people out of the water.
All I'm saying is that the machine could sell more tickets. And
that's a good point, Craig. Don't rest on your laurels because it's amazing that they sold those tickets, but if you give them a dud show, that's going to stink way worse, like shitting the bed in front of 80,000 people. You got to, and I can't see them shitting the bed, but,
I hate to say it, you get crappy NFL games over there, they still show up to those.
It's a lot of pressure, like to put on a good dome show, You
get like old Jets versus bad Buccaneers over there, and they sell 80,000 tickets.
They're just not, and a lot of those guys just aren't used to being in front of that kind of crowd. Even, didn't Sting even say when he fought Undertaker or when he fought
Triple H?
Triple H, he walked out there and he was like,
"It shook
holy
him.
shit!"
It's the biggest crowd he'd ever been in front of.
He'd been wrestling for 30 years at that point, or whatever. It's like you walk out there and it's like, fuck, that's a lot of people.
Yeah. It definitely shook him for sure. But
all right,
good place to stop.
Have a great week of wrestling, everybody.
We're bitching about SummerSlam when it was still, what's the worst? It like I said, it looked beautiful. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Like
it was good. Earlier, just wasn't great. Yeah. That's my
and we're so spoiled. Yeah. Like we expect fucking the Phoenix, for SummerSlam or whatever. But whatever. That means next year's gonna be even better.
To play us out. What?
Play us out. What? We'll do it live.
All right.
And stop.
Bye-bye.